Well, there it is. We got a setup. That's already not working right. But it's done. I should still hear audio through here. But we'll see. That was supposed to be a little different. Because it's supposed to be in here too. What is that? Hey. So good to see you. When you stand back up, we got it. We're ready to say our part, you know. We have to mark this moment in time. This is the craziest shit ever that the world has ever seen. And all of these things that we think right now, whether they be a part of the masses, whether they not be a part of the masses, whether I'm just following an algorithm and leading you down the same algorithm or not, whether it's a spiritual warfare, it needs to be said. Anyways, we didn't want to play that the whole time anyways. Anyways, it has to be said. But it's so good. The girl, she was the child sex slave. So anyways, that's one. No, I'm not doing streaming. I'm going Candace route. Streams are for live action, you like this right now type of thing. You know what I mean? I could be dying after I release this information type of thing. So that's one right there. That's with the clip. This thing keeps moving. That's full screen, like full what's on my screen. That's full clip. Like, if I had it, like, just simple. I don't know, something simple. I gotta switch it back though. But anyways, I gotta switch it back so I have ads. Says it's okay, go to sleep.
Uh-uh.
Huh?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it does.
Why?
Because you just said that. And because timing. But that's clip only. So I think I know clip, that one's clip and person, that one's full. It's good now, so that's about it. The world's a damn mess. Compared to what's... Look, I have churches tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to sleep soon myself. You know, it's hard for me to stay for second hour. I'll tell you, I leave almost ASAP out the door once I get up. Because I don't know what they're talking about in second hour, but if it's not the fucking children, then what are the religions actually doing? What's really being shown is that nobody's doing anything big about it, you know? But everyone's a proponent of children and safety and women and love. Like, what has Joel Osteen said about this? Has it been his message since it happened? All of them, though. It could be. But I'm gonna get some rest. I was thinking about you outside. I was talking to Donna about you.
Yeah.
We had a chat. I said, my baby is getting her rest. I was just talking about that before you left the house. I said, I get these breaks and you don't have to get daylight breaks. So I'm glad you went to sleep and I'm glad you're doing that. Then I got this thing, it's called a replay buffer. I think it's supposed to stop on its own. But if I press F8, it'll just record the last 120 seconds. Or I think I can just press that button right there too. But I'm gonna go more Tim Dillon thing, but I'm gonna go the full life. I'm gonna eventually tell my life story through the whole weaving of it. I'm gonna upload it to my other YouTube channel, the 77 mock channel. It's like a brand new channel with nothing on it. I'm just gonna upload them there. Then use the replay buffer to clip them when I think it's clip worthy. I'm gonna do the sports is gay. I'm gonna do the auto sale. I'm gonna do gas, electric. I'm gonna do what's
like conspiracy shit.
I don't even have to do the conspiracy shit. I think the guys are covering it just as fine. I can't say anything that hasn't already been said type of thing, but I will do what I determine that hasn't been said or things that are close to home. Like sports, that's a close to home thing. You know?
Especially cultural assumptions.
Yeah. I know I gotta do that. So, yeah, at one point I was saying to myself, I'm gonna wait until I get the right drug that I'll just like kind of turn it into a spiritual thing as well. When I was in FM, I had thought about the day. I pictured this moment, this exact moment of me looking into this screen. I pictured it in my head so many times. The brown light was there. His couch was there. The couch was turned this way.
Go behind you.
Yeah, so you could sit on the couch and it'd be facing the thing. But in the lamp was by the couch. So it's like a run across type of thing. And I visualized, I swear to you, this exact same moment. But I couldn't find it when I got out. I couldn't find the moment. Because I said, it's not in the shed. That's not where it's at. And then I sat up here and I was like, it's not there. It's not anywhere. But I was like, but it's not about what it actually looked like. It was about how you felt in the visualization. Do you have those tools to make that visualization come true? But now that I'm looking at it right here, right now, besides that couch and lamp part, and besides like there was movement like right here.
Alright, behind you.
Waza. Waza. You sure did. You damn sure did. And I swear, like, I don't have to swear. I don't have to. I really don't have to. That's just what happened. I wrote it in the notebook. It's a series. You're gonna have questions. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have questions. There is something, I mean, you can go back to sleep, but go downstairs and get it changed and get everything that you need to do. By that time, it'll be about 2:30, 2:10. Yeah, you're right. I think it's 1:45.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 1:45. Time is correct on both ends. Speaking of that time, but that's how it'll be. This is a test run. The mic says that it's running just fine, but it says that it's not picking up any of the music, which is fine. Just fine. But I'm gonna have to make sure I can. I actually downloaded and ran this whole thing at Town Center. I was not working. I was working, but I was always doing what I wanted to be doing. When I got to that back corner in the internet office, I had OBS. I had to get Kevin to call the to call the security team for the network, for the internet network, to allow me to download OBS. And they said, "Why do you want OBS?" That's what the man emailed me. Kevin came downstairs. He called me up probably. He had a standing desk at this point upstairs near Megan. He said, "The guy emailed you," and he says, "Why do you want OBS?" That's the platform that I'm streaming on or recording on at this point.
To make your videos.
To make videos. Cars. I think I just said to make videos, to stream. So there's a couple of times where I've been in the same place. That spiral staircase. I know that this part of it is a super fulfilling part of what I've always wanted. Since the apartment, I started this in the apartment. Right in the little cubby. Mm-hmm. And I had the swivel table behind me. Mm-hmm. I was on Twitch. I told my brother, I said, I'm on the stream and I'm going to be streaming every day. And he said, I'll follow you. Follow me, and it's there. And then I stopped the push. So this has just been a spiral. We had to get to a point where we didn't require credibility, and that we had nothing to lose in a good sense. They're both the same thing in a way. To have nothing to lose is to not require credibility type of thing. But in what they've done to us is put us in these jobs and careers. And a great comedian said, I'll have to show the clip. There was a great comedian. The comedians are not the poets of today, but they are the poets in the way of today. And he said, you used to only have to act like that when you were at work. Now you have to do it all the time. They silence us in ways they have silenced us in ways that I haven't necessarily been purview to watching from some other people, that I've just been like, oh yeah, that's a way too. One way is that Alex Jones said something touching on this. He said, there's a common thing of they don't talk about politics, or we don't talk about politics. That's literally what runs the country. That's literally the subject that determines government. If you don't talk about the subject that determines governments, how can you then vote? How can you then have any rallies if you don't talk about politics? So what they're doing is, what has been done is, regular people are not talking about politics. It's a shunned topic, which for good reason, sometimes, but we've swung from one side of the fence way too far on the other end. Way too far. People are acknowledging that politics is a movie, that it's fake. But now that we know that, that needs to be the conversation about politics in the deeper sense. Not in the sense of let's not talk about it because it's fake. In the sense of let's talk about how it's fake and how we're going to do anything. Or at least just bring the awareness of it. Talking about things just solves things. If you have a big problem, talking about it will help. That's what a lot of people have said for a long time. So, here we are. I'm so glad you came up at this time. I knew you could do that.
Like couples therapy, it's not to fix things, it's to get the couples talking.
Which is bullshit. How can you have the first show showcasing real therapy with Orna? She's lovely, of course. Who doesn't love to look at Lorna's faces as she's making reactions and how she asks questions? She's a great therapist. I'm not saying that you need to be a perfect therapist. I'm not saying that you have to solve everyone's problems. But I'll tell you this, to make an attempt to solve a person's problems, when do you get away from that? When they say that you're an adult? If a person doesn't know how to solve their problems, then they don't know how to come up with the solutions to solve their problems. That's obvious. That's an obvious scenario. If they don't know how to solve their problems, they don't know how to come up with the solutions to do so. So you letting them talk probably talks them more to the problem than something else. Now, if they don't want to listen, then that's a different approach. I haven't attended therapy. I wish I would have for many reasons. I believe that, of course, many people believe this. Many people think that therapy is a crock. They're not necessarily wrong, but they're not all the way right.
Depends on what you want out of it.
Depends on what you want out of it, and how are they a crock? Is it because they're not providing the solutions that they actually can see that's right in front of them, that they want you to lead yourself to the solutions and ask you more questions and answers? Is it because that they try to lead you into the next appointment? And I feel like we were able to see that on couples therapy many times. The man was being an asshole. Many times. Which one? And
sometimes it's the one.
And sometimes, and you can't just say, no, you're the problem. You're the problem. We need to be.
When there's a problem, there's somebody putting up with the problem.
You're the problem for putting up with it. That's therapy. That's my kind of therapy. No, you're the problem. You're the problem for putting up with it. If you think I'm wrong, then you can tell me how that is, but you should think I'm right because of what you just said. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They go to school to ask these certain types of questions, and the school takes about 12 years to ask questions. 13, 14 years. Sometimes 20 years you're in it. You're learning how to ask better questions.
They have to take medical studies.
Seems like a little magical.
To take medical studies.
To solve two lesbians' relationship quarrels about how their past relationship is bringing the jealousy into the new relationship. You went to school for 16 years to tell somebody how they're going to solve that. Seems like a little farce. To tell your man that tell your Italian man that no, he's an asshole and you're actually just only caring about yourself. Any attempts that you're making saying that you care about someone else, you're lying. If you can't see that, then that's your first step. So it's just weird. I guess you gotta let people live their lives. Fuck that. How are these pedophiles sleeping at night? How are they doing that? Here's the thing. Candace touched on this. Candace says something of the sort. I'm not saying that she actually says this, but this is what I heard. She said that, hey, a lot of the serial killers, they're just science experiments that went wrong. She says that, yeah, that MK Ultra stuff still goes on. And when they get loose out of the lab, that's when you end up with a Wuhan, with an American Wuhan by the name of Billy. He wants to fuck all the boys and kill them when he's done with it. That's what he wants to do in his basement. It makes a little sense. Where was I going with that? Hold on. I like how Tim Dillon, he just pauses and then he just goes back to what he just says. It makes a little sense, and then he just keeps going to that till he finds this new thought. I gotta get how to do that. But anyways, if the serial killers are the products of a science experiment gone wrong, God, I had a good one. It's okay. It was a good one, though. And it was definitely, well, not 100%, but close. Anyways. Oh, yeah, this is a good one, though. Catherine said that she thinks that I'm a sociopath. And it's been living in my head rent-free a little bit because she's also the first person that said her and her daughter, Parker, are also the first people to say that you may be autistic. This is at my tender young age of 26? No, 29, 28. Right. I'm thinking to myself, you know, how lovely, here's what my direct thoughts are. How lovely of these people to take an interest in my movements, to even have an inference or an opinion about such in the first place. It's not often that one person diagnoses another person. I love the notion. I am a firm believer that we should be freely walking around, saying to our bosses, "Hey, you're more of an asshole. You're more of an asshole than you need to be. Do you know that?" Or things like that. There's this PC culture. I was listening to something great. It's by a lovely. Check my snap. Oh man. This is when I really bring up the clip. But I just watched this video today, and I still gotta be able to, I guess you gotta still look at the videos that you just watched, because that's where the gold is. There was a TV program, I want to bring this back. I'm actually so glad that I'm rethinking about this, because so many of the great ideas just get lost. But there was a TV program, Catherine, you may recall this. It was called Speak Freely.
Yes, it does. But I don't remember it. I mean, I remember the title, but I don't remember the show.
I've watched a few episodes. They're like 23 minutes, 34 minutes. And this latest one blew me away. Just a little bit of it.
Grew up in Kentucky. I learned how to shoot. Guns are not something that scare me. And, you know, I went to the university where I teach most frequently now is in Texas, and they have a gun exhibit in a building, and all the feminist people thought I was going to look at it and say how horrible. And I said, well, you know, ask the...
We're getting there. That was the
that
wrong
I
button.
can, like for example, I grew up in Kentucky. I learned how to shoot. Guns are not.
Okay, what she's talking about is she's an author. She's now this is my take on it. Just I take in the information, that's I give my full thing on it though. I've seen many people do something like what I'm doing, and they give somewhat of a half perspective and leave you to give the other half. That's all fine and dandy, but what if the other person doesn't come up with the other half? Then you've just given them a half a slice of pizza, and they definitely wanted a whole slice. So this lady's a famous author, and she's around the time of, as you can tell by her dress and outfit, she's around the time of Tracy Chapman. She's a famous black author. During this, her name is, early 90s, her name is Bell Hooks. So she opens up, the opening is really where the meat and potatoes are. Let's go back a little bit.
Female search for love. I'd like
Really let yourself, understand the art of loving.
you say in the book, still revelations for you after the age of 40 about love. That there were insights you gained that you wish you'd had earlier?
Well, absolutely, because I think that like so many other people in our culture, I had very, very confused ideas about love. And, the first book...
I got it. No press F5. F5 is not our button.
Like, for example, I grew up in Kentucky. I learned how to shoot. Guns are very narrow lines and think along very narrow lines. So I think that the excitement many people feel when they come to a Bell Hooks book is, gosh, she's brought together these things that just cling to the idea that if someone hurts you, they can also be loving you.
Here we go. So this is where she opens up. That's so impressive. Every time I press this button, it's a different hotkey for another thing. That's what's getting me. She's saying that if someone's hurting you, then they don't love you. She's saying just because they care about you doesn't mean that they love you. If they're hurting you, that they're not loving you. She's got a point. Let's hear her out a little bit.
And I tried to make a big distinction in that book between care and love. Like saying that my parents cared for me deeply, and care is important. A lot of children don't receive any care. But it's only one ingredient of love. It's not love.
Love is a topic that many people have written about, and now recently you've written 3 very well received books about it. What is your take on love that's different from others?
I always think that part of the genius of Bell Hooks, such as it is that I bring together standpoints that are often not brought together in our nation. I bring together thoughtfulness about race, gender, class when I'm writing about love. One of these fanatic readers, I read a book a day, a nonfiction book a day, and I'm a fanatical mystery reader, and I may read 2 mysteries a day. So I'm always bringing together, not unlike Speaking Freely, diverse ways of knowing. And I think that has been...
What the matter is, if you're not leading with love, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can try to solve every problem in every other way. But if it's not stemming from love, it's not going to work. It's going to look like a solution. For a lot of people, it's going to feel like a solution. For some people, it's not going to feel like a solution at all. Because you got nothing in it. When you make something, it has to have something in it. When you make food, if it ain't got no love in it, it's not, I'm not going to say that everybody can taste that. I'm not going to say everybody can taste. Because you can have food, it's got plenty of love in it, don't taste like it. All day you can have that. You can have food, looks like it's got love in it. Oh, have plenty, thank you, baby.
No, there's no love in this.
Matter of perspective. There's a glass half full there's a glass half full and there's a glass not half full. When you lead with love, you see love. When you're not leading with the love, then there's maybe no love there. I see love in the meal that my baby prepared. That we had an awesome meal of last night. Now it's more stripped down. I see love in that. I see love in that. It's a good, not too heavy food, and you can go back to sleep and know that your belly is better than where you woke up in it, but it's not overly done. I see love in the shaved cheese. I see love in the Prego. There's so many things that they process out. Like, there's so many things that are processed, and to have processed tomatoes, that's not good. But at least you're getting like a processed tomato and not a processed sugar cube. And they start putting sugar on top of the sugar, then it's like, okay, wait a minute. You can put the sugar on top of the tomatoes, on top of the cilantro, on top of the garlic. You can put that. That's fine. Some people like the sugar. Let's roll the clip.
Kind of the mark of bell hooks books, that you may be reading all about Buddhism, then you may read about gangster rap. There may be a whole combination of ideas, and I believe that in our deeply anti-intellectual society, most people read along very narrow lines and think along very narrow lines. So I think that the excitement many people feel when they come to a bell hooks book is, God, she's brought together these things that just seem like you would never put them together.
I mentioned that you've had 22 books, and
She's talking about pattern recognition. What she's talking about is pattern recognition. She's talking about going from one topic to the other topic, being able to bring them together inside of a book, and then go to many different topics. It's because of all things exist in the same way. They're just different versions of the same thing. This is also reference I'm not going to say the oldest writings. We just got to think about what claims to be the oldest writings, whether it's a forgery or not. When the claimed forgery is claimed to be the time, it's still the oldest writing. If a document is created in year 1, I forge it in year 7, and you find it in year 2026, then my forgery holds a lot of fucking weight, is what I'm saying. So whether a document is proven to be or not to be still holds weight. Of course, that's always been true. It's how people are wrongly convicted every time. Not every time, but most of the time it's because a forgery held weight. Okay. She's talking about pattern recognition, from gangster rap to anything. Pattern recognition is noticing what's in front of you. Noticing what's in front of you is noticing symbols, shapes, and signs. Noticing symbols, shapes, and signs is called awareness. Noticing symbols, shapes, and signs, and growing awareness allows you to create your own symbols, shapes, and signs for your own awareness, for your own reality. Now she's very big at leading with love, writing incredible books about all sorts of shit. Roll the clip.
okay, that's extraordinary. That just doesn't happen. That suggests a shelf life that most authors don't enjoy. But do you ever sit down and say, I really want a bestseller. I want this one made into a movie.
I want all of my books made into movies. Because you know what? I believe that I am the embodiment of that sort of classical idea of the intellectual, as someone who really wants to be whole. And to me, a part of wholeness is I really do like the people, the mass. I really, want to be able to write books that are touching the pulse of a diverse audience. So to me, the only exciting aspect of having a bestseller is that, that you have that capability, that you're spread across a wide body of people, cross class, cross race, and I think that's incredibly exciting, the idea of that,
There's not a temptation to kind of water down your message, to broaden it in a way that everyone will find it appealing? Sort of like who moved the cheese?
Well, you know what I think is, in these real deep and profound times, and I don't want to make light in any way, because for the past few years I have just been so concerned about the question of censorship, and a censorship of the imagination that begins even before people are censoring what we write. I think that when I look at my career as a thinker and a writer, that what is so amazing is that I have a dissenting voice, and that I was able to come into corporate publishing and bring that dissenting voice with me.
Now, when she said this term, the first time I'd heard this term, these two words put in a combination. When I hear two words put in a combination for the first time, I love it, because I first get to make my own definition of what they're talking about. And I loved everything that came to mind when she said that. What you're able to do then is create your own definitions to words. This is what the people do all day. All fucking day. When they have power, control, they create their own definition to words. And they rewrite the definition. And now people argue about the definition, then they settle in, or definitions are cool, trending, not trending, because they're rewriting the definitions. You have to take the time to rewrite your own definitions. If you don't take the time to rewrite your own definitions, then who's rewriting the definitions? Who's defining words for you? Who's defining meaning for you? So I love when I heard the words descending voice, it can only mean two things to me. I can think of I have to be a small child. I only know what descending means. That means going down. That means going down. You have ascend, that means going up. You have descend, that means going down. Voice, that's the sound that's being made by like flapping. Humans in this case. A voice that's going down. A human voice saying something that's going down. How is she having a dissenting voice? What does that mean? I gotta stop making that sound. I think this microphone's really good. Yeah, it is. Anyways, what does that mean? It means that she's looking down as she's speaking. She's speaking down. What does that mean? That means that she's taking a God approach to her life. That means that she's taking a God approach to her life. Homath did a great video on this for the young people. He called it the ninth perspective. There's actually 9 dimensions. It's where they've headed. Or there's 3, or there's 6, or there's 9, or there's 12, or there's 14, 16, 18, or they're infinite. They're actually 9. In that 9th dimension, you'll never reach the 9th. It's like being a 33rd degree Mason. You can't be one. Like, you're 32nd. So the 9th one, you never be it. It's just like it's a whole thing. It's a God. There's God. But you do ever be it. Of course you do, because someone has to be everything in this world. So you do be it. There are some people. This man said something about he saw a man that was controlling the weather patterns. He was saying very credible stuff. I love when people are saying very credible things, and you're like, this is easy for me to accept, and they say like that one thing. And he was saying very credible stuff. I was like, okay, yeah. Then he said, yeah, I was in a room, the guy could bring a rain cloud and make it rain if he wanted to. I'm like, wait a minute, is he talking about for real? That's a conspiracy stuff. I wouldn't even go down that thing. But what she's talking about in descending was dissenting or descending. Dissenting. Let's say she was saying dissenting. Then that would mean that she's talking about a voice that came from the past in a way. Both would apply. They commonly recognize people as old souls, and it starts as a good thing, and then as people get older, they kind of grow out of it. You know, you don't call people's old souls once they're old, because But what a lot of people miss in that is the soul is still the same amount of advanced as it was when it was being called an old soul. Like if you call an old soul someone when they're 6 years old, and when they're 36, they're just even older. Descending voice, descending voice. I like what Catherine said, descending.
I mean, the fact is that it may seem to people that the love books, which are easier to read, unlike all the other bell hooks books, I did write them with a mass audience in mind, mindful of my language, mindful of a lot of things. But in them, there are ideas that drive people wild because they feel that they're so dissenting. That idea I mentioned to you earlier, that care isn't love. I mean, I can't tell you how many talks I went on, but people were up yelling. How dare you say, that mom and dad didn't love me because, they gave me that beating every week that I needed.
I'm curious about your take about the marketplace of ideas. Speaking freely is about all those ideas floating around and the need to hear all of them and to share viewpoints. And yet it seems that
I'm not doing
recent
anything,
years,
I'm recording.
especially on college campuses, we've seen a different take on freedom of speech. That you teach, you see college students up close. Do they have the same feel for freedom of speech that you may have had when you were going to school?
Well, I think that the key word that you used then was the marketplace, and I think what's really tragic about education, particularly at a higher level in our nation right now, is that it has become to be something that is about the marketplace, so that there's a lot of repression that students begin to do because they want to prepare themselves for the marketplace and for, getting the money and getting the power and getting the status and getting the fame. And, that means that, you can't always say, what you want to say.
Yeah, she's talking about censorship starts so early because you get after a money chase early, and you know that once you're after a money chase, then the rules are different from what you can say, because when you're on the money chase, you can only say certain things until you get the money. Something like that. I can be still. Don't say what you want to say. All day, I've had fun. It's been a pleasure. Shout out. Who is this lady? This is Bell Hooks. Censorship, freedom, love, expression. What do we have to do though? We have to build a community. I was in a community, I watched something so inspiring. I looked at the comment. The comment was like 50 million people saying, yeah, I relate. But then people are like, well, join my Discord for $5. Nah, let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Till next time. Peace.